It's an important week ahead for VGK. The Golden Knights play 4 games this week on the road in the next 6 days, including a back-to-back starting tonight in St. Louis. More on this week ahead. We'll return right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
It is the start of a new week. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. You could find us at places like Apple and Spotify and wherever you get your podcast. And please subscribe to the Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app today. Use the promo code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. As VGK heads into this week, they are down one goalie. Should I call him a tender? Because he appeared to be a little bit tender. It appears as though Adin Hill left Saturday's game after feeling, quote, discomfort. He had made a save, the left pad save, and then he brought himself to the bench, and then eventually he went to the locker room. The other guy gets his opportunity. Jiri Patera recalled yesterday, even as poorly as Hill has been of late, they are going to miss him perhaps. Let's see how the injury affects the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Logan Thompson takes center stage. He'll be called upon to lead the VGK over this 4-game road swing. So, Chris, LT tonight versus St. Louis, the other guy against Nashville tomorrow. How does this play out?
It's a good question. You mentioned the other guy. I thought you were going to talk about Logan Thompson. I thought that was the other guy. That's kind of what it feels like.
Late, right? Yeah.
So let's get a couple things out there right now. A few questions that I'm going to bring up. Number one is we were all kind of scratching our heads. Why would Adin Hill get 5 consecutive starts and Logan Thompson get a 15-day rest down the stretch? Adin Hill this season has 32 appearances, which is 4 or 5 greater than his season high number of regular season appearances. Now, all of a sudden, Adin Hill is hurt. Now, listen, this injury could have come as a result of whether he was getting 50% of the shares or whether he was getting 90% of the starters net. We don't know. We certainly have to concede that fluke injuries happen, or maybe this was because he's been overworked. We honestly don't know that, but a fair question to ask is, why was Adin Hill getting all these starts? I went back and looked throughout the season. Adin Hill, if my numbers are right, I'll give myself a plus-minus ratio of 1.5 on this one. But with both goalies healthy, Adin Hill had consecutive starts in 12 times throughout the season. Logan Thompson, with Adin Hill healthy, has had 0 consecutive starts this season. So that's something worth looking at and wondering. Tony's question was, how do we see the net playing out this week? I really hope Logan does not get 4 starts this week under any circumstances. I mean, we don't know what's up with Adin Hill. I'm assuming the keywords will be there. The buzzwords will be there. Adin took himself out of the game, discomfort, precautionary. You can put that one in air quotes. And then we're going to hear something. Well, we're calling it day-to-day for now. For now and precautionary are 2 things I don't want to hear out of Coach Cassidy's mouth, because that means he's going to be gone for a while. Wake up, people. That's just what happens. So, I think the starts will be Logan Monday against the Blues, Thursday against the Jets, Saturday against the Wild, with the other guy, Jiri Patera, going tomorrow against the absolutely red, scorching hot Nashville Predators.
So
win tonight.
Tomas Hertl went to LTIR, right, to clear space because the other guy's got such a huge salary. Did you see what could
That's
have
how close they are.
caused?
And they were $280,000 away from the cap. It's crazy how close they were.
That's
And
crazy,
Patera
right?
makes more money, by the way, than Logan Thompson by like $9,000.
Oh my! Don't get me started. Did you see what could have caused this injury?
So Sinbin put up the video right at that led to him leaving, and seeing eye save, Adin Hill just goes down, stretches out his left pad, and all of a sudden he gets up and there he goes.
Yeah, I didn't
The
see anything.
speculation, at least for me, again, I'm no doctor, I'm not even close. But I'm thinking something with his hips, honestly. I'm thinking something is going on down there that's just causing his whole lower body basically to lock up at times. We saw that happen. That's when he couldn't get down to make that save against Ottawa when he removed himself from the game. So again, I have no idea. I'm just speculating, of course, there. Um, but again, the timetable is the concern right now and the fatigue factor. And I'm surprised we made it. How long we've been going? I'm surprised we made it 5 minutes and 55 seconds without Tony Cordasco saying, "I told you the Golden Knights needed a third goalie," because Tony was 1,000% right on that one.
Yeah, and an experienced one at that. I really felt that.
How great would Jake Allen look in a Golden Knights jersey right now?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they missed on that one. That would have been pretty cool. Yeah,
They,
good
they, they
call.
couldn't get him. There's no way they could have gotten him, but it's still how good would
They
it have
could
been?
they could have cooked the books. Come on. 4-2 VGK defeats Columbus. Pedestrian effort to me. I wasn't impressed with VGK. Again, it's 2-1 for the longest time. Jack Eichel steps up, scoring twice in the contest. I thought that they also had he had a power play goal. We have to point that out because that's been sucking of late. And Chandler Stevenson with a couple of assists. He's playing a lot better. And then some funky lines. I'm watching the game. It was Eichel, Stevenson, Amadio for a spell, Carlson, Mantha, Dorofeev. And you're still experimenting, Bruce Cassidy.
I think Cassidy needs to get some credit for this game. They were talking about that on the radio on the way home, and basically every single forward line and defensive pairing was changed in the game besides Hannafin and Haig, which all of a sudden a really sexy defensive pair, and Hannafin and Haig out there. That's I'll take more of that. That is a very strong D pairing in the making. And Coach Cassidy, you watched the first period of that game, like they were okay early on. Like the Golden Knights had so much room in the middle of the ice, and then a fluke goal gets given up. It happens. And then after that, just things kind of went sideways, and it was really a very boring period. I felt the Golden Knights would get shot out of a cannon, no pun intended, Columbus, but I really felt they would come out in that second period and do well, and they did. And one of the Twitter followers pointed out that this was a dominant effort by the Golden Knights if you take away the first period. And okay, I'll give him that. That's fine, whatever. The goal's given up, fluke goal early, and then I caught the miracle of miracles in the third period. I put out my bet at plus 127, both teams to score a goal in the third period, and that meaningless goal that the Blue Jackets got sent me to the window at the end of that game. So I was happy about that.
That Carson Mayer goal bothered me.
That was the end of the game?
I'm glad it. Yeah, I'm glad
at
it
the end of
made
the
you
game.
some money. Yeah, it just was
Okay.
sloppiness, right? Just you give up a goal with 9.4 seconds, whatever it was on the clock.
You're saying finish the game. I got you. Really fast. I want to just be clear one thing. Cassidy, that's where I started. I kind of went on my tangent about my sports betting there, but give Cassidy credit, right? He spun everything upside down. He's still tinkering with the lines, and he found something that worked. And I'm very curious to see what defensive pairings and forward lines go tonight, because the only time I've really been critical of Cassidy as far as his lines and pairings and such goes back to last season. I believe it was a game against the Vancouver Canucks where the Golden Knights trailed early 2-0. That's the game where Marchessault got benched, actually, if you remember that, Tony.
Wow.
Cassidy changes the entire forward lines, basically sticks Marchessault, buries him for a little bit because he was pissed off over something he did, which fine, whatever. That's what coaches do. The Golden Knights tied that game going to the second period. It was a tie game at the first intermission. Cassidy went back to the old line combinations, and they ended up losing that game. So Cassidy gets the spark. and then he goes back because the game is level. And then the following night against the Seattle Kraken, Coach Cassidy left the lines the same way, and they lost that game too. That was a low point in last year. So Cassidy got the spark he was looking for against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Does he roll with the same lines, or is he going to go back to whatever? So this is Cassidy's going to earn his money this week. That's for sure.
Zach Whitecloud returned, playing a little bit better there. Wake up call.
Yeah, Whitecloud was fine. I mean, I didn't look at him as fair, foul, or otherwise that game. Is the fog back, Tony?
I think the fog's coming back.
Oh, this is such a good episode. No, Whitecloud was fine that game. He wasn't great. He was out there. And when I say he's out there, he was out of sight, out of mind, which honestly, that's the type of player that Zach Whitecloud is. Although he had one shift where he was basically a center and he just owned the situation. It was so funny to watch. So whatever it was, a rush situation, whatever happened, Whitecloud is basically in the bumper position, like directing traffic around the points while they're moving the puck. He's got his stick down, calling for the puck right out about 8 feet out of the crease, trying to get that tip. And I thought that was so much fun. But Whitecloud was fine. You know, it's nice to see Whitecloud and Haig both responding well after being healthy scratches. So again, Cassidy's got 8 weapons back there on defense. And with Nick Haig, all of a sudden, you know, Nick Haig is the smartest defenseman right now. He's like, hey, I'm gonna make sure I play well with this Hannafin guy. He's pretty good, and if I can play well with Hannafin, they can't take me out of the lineup. So Nick Haig is smart.
Method Man would be very proud. The Hayes is coming back just in time for 420.
Is he your producer right now on that side? How do we get a producer in this show?
We need some help. This week's schedule for VGK. Again, tonight at St. Louis, tomorrow at Nashville, Thursday at Winnipeg, Saturday at the Wild. This is such a tough schedule. They're not going to have any time to practice. That'll be the new narrative this week.
But they have everything. We're at the optional stage of the year, guys. That's just what's going to happen right now. I think literally the next Golden Knights practice is going to be Thursday, April the 4th. And honestly, that is probably going to be the final. Thursday, April the 4th, and Monday or Sunday, April the 7th are probably going to be the final practices of the year. Everything else is optional skate, optional skate, optional skate. And that's okay. Don't look at that as the team not practicing, folks. But Tony, yes, it's also fair what you're saying because the schedule and too much practice, not enough practice, too much time between games, not enough between games. The Golden Knights played more games than everyone else. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm done. Okay.
Coming up next, we've got a preview of tonight's VGK Blues game in St. Louis. Hopefully the fog lifts. We'll be back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights.
Oh, it's one of those shows.
Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Gametime has deals on your tickets right up into the start of the event. And even an hour after it starts, it's the place to find last-minute seats. We know that. And you can find exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much, much more. With zone deals, you pick the section and Gametime will pick the seats for an average of 18% savings. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime today. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and if you do so, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We were out last night at the volleyball match there. It was our ninth Island night. So thanks to all the performers. So my good friends.
They need to put skates on the group that was out there in the beginning. I think it's like, I don't know if it's called, I'm not sure what the proper terminology is, but
group?
They need to put skates on those guys, and that needs to be the pregame show. Listen, the Golden Knight is amazing. We love him. ESPN doesn't love him because of the ESPN loves showing that clip over and over of him going down, unfortunately. But you put those guys on skates for the pregame, or maybe like we can do Braveheart, where the Golden Knight Okay, the Golden Knight is Mel Gibson, and he's going to
Okay.
lead the Haka. Is that the proper terminology?
Okay, HAKA.
He's going to lead the Haka, and it's going to be mayhem, and that would be a heck of a show right there.
Some of my good friends from Hawaii tell me 2 drummers are going to show up. There's 7. Where are we going to put these folks? We had so much fun, though. It was great. Other than the
It was a
outcome.
really fun night. The kids enjoyed it. Highly recommend going to a thrill game, guys. Highly
Thanks,
recommend.
man. Appreciate that. So onward and upward. Next match will be tomorrow night. It is Girl Dad Night. This is my concoction. Girl Dad Night. So good day.
What time is it? Is it an early game or is it 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock again. Yep. So VGK leads St. Louis by just 4 points as the final wild card spot. Is it up for grabs? I don't believe so. I think VGK is just, they'll hang on and they might move up. Who knows? VGK with the game in hand in that race. The Blues have won a couple of straight. Blues off of that overtime win, a big win over Minnesota, 5-4. Jordan Kyrou, who we'll see a lot tonight, see a lot about him tonight. The hat trick, and Brandon Saad scored the game winner there in overtime with 2 minutes to go. This is a team now, and we keep saying this about a lot of the clubs that VGK is playing. Red hot team coming in. Oh, first of all, it is a must-win game. You had to go right there on the slate. Winners of 6 of 7 now. The St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that are just kind of hanging out right now, and it's important. I mean, these games are literally the difference maker from possibly the Blues aren't getting eliminated regardless of the outcome tonight, but these are the games that could start that trajectory, so to speak. And the Blues are going to empty the clip and do whatever they can to get a regulation victory, and obviously make that gap a little bit shorter. I'm with Tony. I think the Golden Knights hang on for the playoffs, but I still question the mindset. And I don't think this is the mindset of the players or coaching staff. I don't think anyone is looking behind them. But for whatever reason, I think the fans are really focused on the Golden Knights just limping in, just getting in, making sure the 6 teams behind, well, maybe less than 6 now, but, teams like the Blues and the Wild, those are really the teams that matter. The Flames and Below are basically out of it. But
They have
really
flamed
watching
out.
the Blues.
They flamed out.
They did. And you knew that was going to happen. I mean, whatever. But the Blues and the Wild, I still think that's the wrong perspective for a fan to look at. Watch the Kings, watch the Oilers. If the Golden Knights can make a run, first of all, to the Kings and even get close to that 3rd spot in the Pacific, they're safely in the playoffs. Nothing else behind them even matters. So that's what I'm watching down the stretch here. The Golden Knights will have one game against the Oilers, and I think they're done with the Kings, unfortunately. And
they're done with the Kings in December. So rigged.
Yeah, no, I know, Tony.
That was kind of silly. That was just dumb.
Shut up, Tony!
A new shout out.
I had to bait you in that one. I baited you to that one. I definitely had to lead you down the path. I had to get Chris's video in there and holding the William Karlsson poster. I was so hoping Karlsson would have scored a goal on Saturday. I would have showed that one on Saturday. But anyway, all right. So going back to the Blues, like you said, one loss and 6 and 7 victories or something like that. So
6 of 7 they've won.
Yeah, 6 of 7. They lost to the Avalanche 4-3 a few days ago. The Blues had a quick road trip going to Ottawa, going to Minnesota, and getting 4 points. That's awesome for them. The dreaded first game back of a long road trip. The Blues got Vegas, Cal, 1, 2, 3, Gary, San Jose, so rigged. And then the Edmonton Oilers, all of a sudden, they're starting to come back to reality a little bit. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10 and starting to slow down a little bit. Where this is, again, where I say the Golden Knights need to look up instead of looking down. And it's a 5-point gap between Vegas and the Oilers, but 1 game in hand for Edmonton. So all of a sudden that's becoming obtainable, and the Los Angeles Kings are only 2 points up on the Golden Knights. So got to take care of business tonight. This is supposedly the normal game of the rotation where Logan Thompson was going to start, and we'll see. I mean, hopefully Logan responds, right? I think the Golden Knights should be fine tonight. We'll obviously give our locks and predictions on the 3rd segment, but I think the Golden Knights will be fine tonight. And I think the biggest goal right now in these next 2 games, Golden Knights find a path to 3 points. preferably get 2 points tonight and get at least one tomorrow against Nashville. But if the Golden Knights can get out of this back-to-back with 3 points, with Yuri Patera probably getting one start, that's a pretty good start to a very tough road trip.
It's an interesting time of this year. Of course, every year around this time is so much fun. I think I really enjoy the races and what have you. In the East, 1 point it separates between first and seventh. Is that right? Did I
Well,
see
how
that
about
correctly?
so what I
7
like
teams are within a point in the East.
Well, there's 7 teams right now that are within the league lead, I think is what you're getting at.
Yeah, within 1
Boston,
point.
Dallas, Carolina, Colorado, Florida, 97 points. Vancouver and the New York Rangers, 98 points.
Oh, that's right.
But here's the
Within the
thing.
whole
None of
league.
these teams,
That
they
was-
want to win. No one wants the President's Trophy. No one wants it.
No. My
They
Rangers
all want to get
my
second
Rangers,
place.
my Rangers want second place. They better
They
start
all
taking a
want
dive
second
like
place
tonight.
right now.
Take a dive like the Vegas night. Um,
Ooh, poor Lee.
yeah,
What did Lee
that
do
was
to you?
pretty bad.
Lee's a good guy. Lee's a good guy.
Yeah, this is a team tonight. Oh, they'll be celebrating Nick Leddy's 1,000th game tonight at the Enterprise Center.
Oh, that's gonna move. That's gonna move the needle.
That could move the needle. Yeah. So Pavel Buchnevich was a name that we had mentioned a lot around the deadline. He had 3 assists in that game on Saturday against the Wild. So we'll keep him on our radar. Jordan Bennington is playing pretty well. 50 games. He's got a save percentage of .912 and a 2.85 goals against average. I just wish he would melt down in a game like this. I enjoy those theatrics.
It's very well, it's likely that's just who Jordan Bennington is. Although, 50 games played so far, 25, 19, and 3, like you said, 9-12, 285 goals against. So the goals against is not as important of a number as the save percentages. 9-12, it could be a little bit better. Honestly, 9-12 puts him just a few ticks over Logan Thompson, but Logan Thompson, as of late, has been a heck of a lot better. So I'm with you. There's a lot of firepower in St. Louis. Buchnevich would have looked wonderful in a Golden Knights jersey, but I get Hurdle instead, and I'm not, we're splitting hairs, although Buchnevich would be playing right now and not on the Blues, which would have been a lot better. Rob Thomas, 73 points, so you got the Matchbox 20 lead singer, Dublin as a hockey player. Jordan Kyrou, he's been around forever doing his thing, 56 points. Brandon Saad, another name like Nick Leddy, who have played together a lot throughout their career in Chicago and stuff. Saad, 71 games. He's got 36 points. And Jake Neighbors, a youngster, doing really, really well with 35 points in 71 games.
What's his plus minus? It was really bad, I thought.
Who,
earlier.
Brandon Saad?
Neighbors.
Neighbors is minus 14. Braden Shen is minus 23. Torrey Krug, defenseman, minus 26. And I still don't get this. I bring up plus
26.
minus a lot.
Yeah.
So many people say plus minus is meaningless. Like, I don't agree with that. I think plus minus
I
is
agree with
a
you.
great money ball statistic and a great way to fish for players, especially in like your middle 6 as far as your forwards go.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you. I definitely think it's an important stat. And coming up next, speaking of important stats, we will have our locks of the night and our predictions on the big show. Stay with us. Back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. We want to remind you that you could win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper. Just download the app, get up to $100 match in your first deposit. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. It's the number one choice for daily fantasy sports and especially daily fantasy hockey, because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contest. What players will you take this week to win 100 times your money? A lot of the big players are stepping up, including one Jack Eichel. So keep an eye on Jack. You can, of course, connect with other fans. Entries can be made in under a minute, and all you have to do is pick whether a lot of these studs will record more or less than their sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus minus. It's important enough to put into fantasy hockey, Mr. Golick, and much, much more. So start paying attention, nail your picks, so you can start winning big. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You will get up to $100 match in your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. And see Sleeper's terms of use. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen every day. Please make sure to tune in on Fridays for WTF, What the Friday. And you had a little up and back with one of the fans out there, and then you guys
Which one?
kind of, I don't know. You did I thought I saw a kumbaya moment there in the stream that you guys came to terms, and okay, you misunderstood the question, or I don't know, something. But it's good that you're making amends with a lot of our fans, because it's good. I don't want you to turn into me. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh,
And
are you
Saturday,
talking about where I said I think we're saying the same thing about the goalies? Maybe are you talking
I
about that
have no
nut job
idea.
in Detroit that I was getting into it with?
No kumbaya moment with the nut job in Detroit?
No, he's an
No.
idiot. He's an idiot.
What was the argument about?
This guy's been on this high horse that Tom Wilson should have been charged with a crime when he got that high sticking penalty. And then now that fight that happened, I believe it was between Mo Sider and Philip Forsberg, should not have happened, because if the NHL would have called the cross-checking penalty, that fight wouldn't have happened.
Okay.
So I said, dude, you're trying to turn you want a player charged with a crime, and then now you want the NHL to become the flag football edition of the National Football League. Like, I don't understand where you're going with this. And the dude blocks me. Like, the dude pulls
You got blocked.
I got
Wow.
blocked. Like, and then some other clown comes on and says, "Oh yeah, this is a very well respected person in Detroit," and blah blah blah. And this guy's argument was, "I'm paid to go watch hockey games for the last 13 years." Like he's one of those guys that he quote tweets everything when he disagrees with you. And then he like says he's better than you and all that. Well, dude, you're an idiot. Like, sorry. Okay, let's keep going about the
Okay.
Golden Knights
No,
here.
I do like
Idiots.
this. I like to stir the pot, and then people start arguing on my feed, and I
Imbecile.
just let them go.
The imbecile of the day, Tony. You got me going. We got a new imbecile of the day.
How are your bowling friends doing that called you that? Do you
We
still
have our
listen to the
tournament. We have our
podcast?
bowling tournament coming up in 3 weeks, so I'm sure I'll be an imbecile of the day for that too. That's coming up.
Are you gonna? Is it in Reno again?
No, it's in Vegas. It's in Vegas.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'll be at
Might
South
have to
Point
come
Arena.
down. We might have to come down and check that out.
Yeah,
We need
I
to
start my
look some
session
video.
with a triple Osoko straight, and usually by the third game, I'm feeling pretty good.
You're feeling okay. Don't forget Saturdays, the Chris times Chris show with Chris and Chris Jr. And I like that shout out. That was pretty funny. Okay, it is time for our locks of the night and our
was fun.
predictions. I'm going to go with, I got Blues Clues here. I'm going to go with St. Louis 3-1. I'm going to go Stevenson and Waugh. Hey, man, I had some points the other night. I had Barbashev, a goal.
You did?
I had Stevenson, 2 assists. That's 3 big points on the big board.
That's pretty good.
Maybe
Yeah, we should really
sometime we'll
keep
start
track of this
tracking
one of
this
these
stuff.
seasons. I always say I'm going to track it, and I never do.
It's
Like,
like,
I think I
but
track it
you
for
don't
like
want to
12
track.
games, and then I stop.
You don't want to track my win-loss percentage with or against VGK. It's got to
That's
be in the
funny right there.
30% range. Got to be. Go ahead. man.
Whatever. I mean, it's that a boy. Shout out to my good buddy Big Phil, one of my buyers in my shows, but we talk a lot of hockey on the side and stuff. He's a Blues guy. He'll be watching the game tonight. I'm sure he'll be chirping up and back, whether he's in my stream, I'll be selling cards tonight, or if we'll just be talking on the side. So shout out to Phil. Appreciate you. Hopefully you enjoy the Golden Knights getting 2 points tonight. That's what needs to happen, at least. Eichel's on fire again right now. So let's go Eichel. Let's go Hannafin. I'm going to chalk it up a little bit. I think both those players are going to have an effect in the outcome. Logan Thompson goalie assist. Let's put a Logan Thompson goalie assist
Wow.
on the docket.
What about
too,
what are
could be
the odds
fun
on a
right there.
goalie fight tonight? Now that would be fun.
I mean, this is the
Chris
highest they'll
Bennington-
ever be, because Logan
Right.
Logan is Aiden's scrappy too, but there's always been a lot of talk in the press box about Logan and Bennington going at it one of these days.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
a few of us have brought it up before, so we'll see.
All right.
We'll
I
see
thought I
what
just
happens
concocted
there.
that, but I'll take that. What would the
No, I
odds
mean,
be? Give me odds.
listen,
Give me odds.
Bennington will fight a peanut vendor, a peanut vendor if he needed to. So, odds on a goalie fight tonight plus 950, which is probably still
take it.
pretty good.
I'll take
Probably
that.
pretty good.
I'll take a plus there.
Max
Yeah.
win $3, Chris Condos.
I
So
think it'd be
30 cent bets. Max to win $3.
Okay.
So you can bet a
Really
dollar.
tough
You can bet a
week
dollar.
for the VGK ahead. Of course, you can keep updated right here on Lockdown.
Golden Knights win 5-3. By the way, sorry, Golden Knights win 5-3. Now you
5-3. Okay, so St. Louis is a team that has a hard time scoring goals too. So that magic number though is 3, I think, in this game.
I just threw that out there really fast because you were starting to
know.
stop the show, so I had to get that in there really fast.
I was ready to. Yeah. All right. Are you done? Anything
done.
else? Okay.
Yeah, the guy from never mind. Okay, keep going.
I thought we were we're getting cut in for the Otani press conference, or what's going on here? Okay.
Oh
We
God, I want to
appreciate
talk about
everyone.
that so much. I'm not going to.
I know. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much, especially our everydayers. And again, tomorrow on the show, we'll recap this game against St. Louis, preview the Nashville game. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We appreciate you all tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Lockdown Golden Knights. And please take care.